Well, the increased restrictions on off-road vehicle access to Cape Hatteras National Seashore take effect next week.
And an Outer Banks community group, they're suing the Park Service to try and stop that new plan. 10 on Your Side's Art Kahn spent the last 2 days there and is here now to tell us what's behind this fight. Art?
Well, Tom, there are a lot of details to the plan, but essentially it requires anyone driving on the beach to buy a permit, $50 for a week, $120 a year. Limits access to some areas of the shoreline while closing other spots to the off-road vehicles altogether.
The Cape Hatteras National Seashore is one of only a handful of parks that allows the use of ORVs.
Out of 397 units, less than 15 allow it. Those that allow it are supposed to have a special regulation to manage it.
Park Superintendent Mike Murray says Cape Hatteras National Seashore has operated without such a plan since 1970.
So, in effect, off-road vehicle use has never been legally authorized here.
This is the greatest example of bureaucratic sleaze that I have ever read.
Retiree Bob Davis came to the island in 1994 to enjoy the unrestricted vehicle access to the beach and thinks the federal government went fishing for a method to limit that access.
What the Park Service has tried to do is to find a mandate by which they can regulate people on their beaches and change these beaches into wildlife sanctuaries.
The mandate is not from us, it's from Congress and from...
Attorney Jeff Geisler represents the environmental groups that insisted the Park Service develop the ORV management plan.
The last 4 years, we've had to operate under a court-approved consent decree to increase restriction of ORV use and improve protection of beach nesting wildlife such as shorebirds.
And under the consent decree, we've seen significant gains in wildlife across the board.
The human. That's the most threatened species on this island.
Islanders like Kevin Connor say the new ORV management plan is unfair to the people who live there.
It's an invasion of our rights as American citizens to access lands that we actually own.
This is sad. I feel like my freedoms have been outlawed, my liberty's been stolen, and my pursuit of happiness comes in sad bags of the past.
Lifelong Hatteras resident John Oakes is driving me to one of Hatteras Island's most impressive spots, Cape Point. Here, the East Coast bends to the southwest. We spotted a large flock of seagulls resting on the sand.
And the fact is, we'll be one of the last people to ever drive up on a flock of gulls or any other kind of bird sitting here.
Vehicular traffic will no longer be permitted here.
Yeah, that location also happens to be one of the very best fishing spots on the entire island. Now, tonight at 6, we'll hear from residents who are opposed to the Park Service's conservation methods, as well as from those who see the plan as a necessary compromise. Art Kahn, 10 on Your Side.